How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another LUIGINATOR Podcast. Today on the LUIGINATOR Podcast, it is once again me and my best friend co-host, Sam. Sam, say hello.
My phone almost interrupted your introduction, so bullet dodged.
Again, for like the third time. And for those of you who are joining after watching the video that's going up next Monday, congratulations on time traveling, because I just finished recording footage for Nidavasu, which will be up Monday, and in the end of that I said, all right, I gotta end this a little early because I have to go record a podcast right now. This is that podcast, and the podcast is coming out first. So welcome to the future past, like that dumb X-Men movie title, even though it wasn't necessarily a dumb movie, it was just a really funny dumb title.
What's the future like?
Yeah, it's warm, which is unfortunately not surprising.
Anyway, global warming.
Anyway, today's topic of conversation is not global warming. That's another topic for another day. Today's topic of conversation: what Fallout 4 faction did you align with, and why? Same for Empire versus Stormcloaks in Skyrim. Who did you side with, and why? This is, if any of you watched last week's podcast, which all of you should have, you'll know that Skyrim in particular is a very passionate topic for both Sam and I don't think we've ever talked about the Stormcloak Empire debate, which is why we're going to save that for the grand finale. We're going to start out with Fallout 4. As a reminder, if you would like to be shouted out or have something talked about during our podcasts, there is now a specific chat for it, the halftime chat, in the LUIGINATOR Discord server. You can see it over on the left side right now, you lucky dogs, and you can just hop right on in. There's a link in the description below, and you can tell us to talk about this or that or the other thing, and we'll do it, right, Sam?
It's so shiny.
I know, it's beautiful. Sam,
it's
why don't you, do what?
It's blinding. I can't see.
My eyes! Anyway, Sam, why don't you take us away? What Fallout 4 faction did you align with?
Okay, so when I first played Fallout 4, I went straight to the Brotherhood of Steel because I have history with them from Fallout 3, and they were already promising a lot of cool toys to play with in Fallout 4, so it's just like, let's see here, let me weigh my options. Brotherhood of Steel giving me tons of tools and tons of cool equipment, or the Minutemen, which is just endless quest, but it's for a good cause. Yeah, I just want to beat the story. Let's go with the Brotherhood of Steel.
Okay, I gotta be honest though. The Brotherhood gives you a bunch of tools. The Brotherhood is also a bunch of tools. They're a bunch of assholes.
Yep, that's why I changed, like, through my second playthrough, when I actually took it more seriously.
Okay. Oh, so the first playthrough then, you sided with them because they're what you knew. They're what you wanted to go with, just familiar-wise. Once you knew Fallout 4 and you went back for your second playthrough, what'd you go with?
Definitely with the Minutemen, because I had more time on my hands. Because when Fallout 4 came out, I was still in high school, and I was just, like, playing through with limited time I have. And then, like, when I went through my second playthrough, which you were there, this was actually last year when we were living together, I went through and got all the achievements for Fallout 4, and I was just like, you know, the Minutemen are kind of like the only, like, legit nice people. I kind of want to go with them, and also they gave me a cool general outfit. I'm like,
oh, it's a cool outfit.
It is a really cool outfit.
It is a really cool outfit. You also get Preston, who's like the nicest guy. Oh my god. The nicest follower.
Yeah, he is super nice. Well, it was actually funny because, like, remember the whole, like, settlement system they have in Fallout 4 where you like start to, like, build a civilization in whatever area you're allowed to build in?
Yeah.
Every time, I never took Preston, like, with me as a companion, because dog meat for life, baby.
Aww.
Yeah, I love dog meat.
Like, fair, but aww.
Oh, that was a sad aw, not a cute aw?
No, I mean, like, it was kind of both. It's understandable, but, like, Preston, man. He's so nice.
Yeah, but also, I'm all for the Lone Wanderer perk in Fallout 4, which is just like, hey, if you don't have a companion, we're gonna up your defense and carrying capacity. So, and dog meat doesn't have an effect with that perk. So I just signed up for that. But anyways, so I left Preston, like, at the fort, and every time I tried to give him an assignment, half the time, like, he would not register as, like, a villager. So, like, every time I would assign him, like, crops or something electrical, it would just be like, yes, he's assigned. I leave. I'm gone for a few days. I come back, and then he's just unassigned. I'm like, who are you? What are you to me? You're not doing what I tell you. Are you the general? Last I checked, I was.
The settlements thing is one of my favorite parts of Fallout 4, but it really got me that it gave you the option to put followers at your settlements, like just have them be your pals who are always nearby. But they would mess up so many things about the settlement. Like, they wouldn't do the jobs, and they wouldn't register for achievements, for the settlement-based achievements and stuff like that. They'd skew the happiness ratio and all that. They were a headache to deal with.
Yeah. God, that achievement to get 100% happiness at a single settlement was a nightmare.
Oh, I don't think I got it, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I couldn't get it legitly. I literally looked up, the best recommended way to do it, which is just basically like only have one settler at the gas station and just give all of her supplies to him or her.
So you just made one guy exceptionally happy?
Yep.
Holy crap! You rigged the system.
Yeah, because the thing was, like, I wanted to get legitly, so I put all my effort at the fort. I was like, we literally have 180 defense and 100 food and water, and you're telling me you guys are not happy because you're not getting exercise, or you're not happy because your Nuka-Cola has 0.0001% of radiation in it? Well, how about you bite your tongue before I cut it off with my shish kebab?
Sam, well, in their defense, I think 0.001 radiation is still... it's still radiation at all.
Well, that was just an over-exaggeration. I know my water's purified, but I mean, like, literally I could not figure out the reason why they were not happy.
Yeah,
because they never tell you.
Some of them were so basic. Some of them were like, hey, we don't have enough beds, but then you count the number of beds and you have like double the amount of beds per person, but they'd still be like, hey, I'm not happy with the amount of beds. And it's like, what do you want from me, man? I've taken away beds. I put the beds back. I took away all the beds. I literally there were settlements where I reset the beds and still had the issue with the beds.
It was so annoying because, like, you would assign them the bed, and this was another problem I had with the fort. Granted, very secure, but very limited space, so I built, like, structures that would go up sometimes, and I would assign people beds in those structures because they could not reach the bed, because their CPU mind could not grasp the logic of player set stairs. They were just like, well, I can't go up these stairs, ergo I can't sleep, ergo I'm unhappy and it's your fault. And it's like, I don't know what to do. Do you want me to just put you out in the middle of the room? Because I kind of have to.
Oh man, I will say that's another thing that I got to after a certain point in time. I love designing individual houses for everybody, especially on the first settlement because you're already in a neighborhood and everything.
Oh yeah.
But at a certain point, I just kinda give them a big house and fill it with beds. And that's all they get. No one has any individual space. I just put the beds in like 4x4 clusters and just kind of say, hey guys, have fun with your orgy. I'm out, peace.
I'll leave a disco ball on the ceiling, set the tone.
They're like, hey, we want to exercise. So you're like, alright, cool. I just put a fucking treadmill in the middle of the street. It's like, goodbye, everybody.
That was also another thing. It was just like, I'd be more than fine with like giving everyone like their own individual house or whatever, but also I kind of can't because of the like very tiny structure limit.
Oh my god, the structure limit pissed me off so much. I love the, like I said, I love the settlement things. It was one of my favorite parts of Fallout 4 was the settlements in general, regardless of what faction I wound up going with. But just, I would get so into it. That's also part of the reason I didn't build them all individual houses, is because by the time I got to the point where I had built all the frames for the houses, I didn't have enough space or enough room to put everything in them. And it's not even that I didn't have enough resources. I had resources for fucking days and just wasn't allowed to use them, you know?
Yeah, it's so antagonizing, because I think there was also like, I don't know if it's been patched, but there is a glitch where you can just keep building past the structure limit, but because of like, Yeah, I remember showing you this when I was doing this exact achievement, and you're having the same reaction you're having now.
I believe that.
But the thing that like caught me off guard was the most about it was just like, hey, people like more structure stuff. You know, a lot of buffling. What's the term? Like, I'll come back to it later. But there's so much going on in the settlement right now, and the fact that I'm going past the structure limit, they might, you know, be more happy. No, you hit the limit, they're not going to get any more happy with it. It's just like, god dang it.
I wanted to be able to build to excess. I was gonna split this. So the way that I was gonna format this podcast, Sam, is I was gonna split it to 10-minute segments and have it be what did you side with, and then what did I side with for 10 minutes. I also sided with the Minutemen, so we can just keep going, dude. So you said on your first playthrough you went with the Brotherhood of Steel because you were like, oh well, that's what I know, motherfucker. Yes. He stopped me at the because you know it's literally the first mission that you do once you leave the vault is for the Minutemen, and yep. So they were literally like, "Hi, I'm Preston Garvey. We go help people." I was like, "Sold. I'm done." Sam, the first time I played Fallout 4, I didn't do the story. I just did Minutemen to excess. I did Minutemen so much that I got bored of Fallout 4 and stopped playing. That was my first Fallout 4 playthrough.
How much
just settlements.
What level were you at the end?
40s.
Good, just for Minutemen?
Yes.
Did you do any other side quest?
I would literally do the Minutemen, and I would scrap, so I'd go to the new settlement, scrap literally everything I could at the settlement, and then build the basic stuff, and usually by the time I did that, it was time to go check out one of the other settlements to make sure the other settlements were fine. So I'd teleport to the other settlement, and then they'd be like, hey man, you got a new settlement for you to found. So I'd go to the new settlement, do the quest, found the new settlement, repeat again, and then they'd be like, hey, defend this settlement. So I'd go do that quest, and then they'd be like, hey, settle a new settlement, and I'd do that quest, and I would literally just jump Minutemen quests, which I will say, that's my one of my major critiques specifically about the Minutemen. Excuse me, I'm burping a lot. It gets excessive after a while. The amount of quests that they give you, and the only reason I say that is because ideally it would be I have time to make sure all of my settlements are okay before a defense quest starts. And that was not always the case. That was very rarely the case. It would literally be, okay, cool. I've been at this settlement for 2 minutes and one is already under attack. And you'd go, and in the middle of defending that one, another one's under attack. I hated it. I had settlements, I don't know if they could be like whole ass wiped out, but I got to the point where settlements would be like, hey, some of your people died because you didn't help. And I was like, what do you mean I didn't help? I didn't know I was supposed to help.
Yeah, and that's one of the other things I didn't like about those repetitive Minutemen quests was that every time you would do them, you would have to go to the place, talk to some person, they'll ask you to clear out some bandits at a building you have already been to, go there, clear out the newly spawned bandits, come back, then turn in, and then keep repeating that cycle. It's the fact that you can't just go to the place and kill them and call it a day, the fact that you have to keep going to the same person and talk to them more than once so they can spout about their problems to you that you've already heard a million times. That's what makes it even more repetitive.
Extra unfortunate with stuff like that is that sometimes the person you're supposed to talk to isn't there. Now, it's a Bethesda game, so sometimes it's just whole ass like, yeah, they just didn't spawn, reload your game. That's honestly fine, because that's Bethesda, you know, we take what we have to play their games. But sometimes the person giving you the quest is a traveling merchant. And you know what you have to do to get to a traveling merchant? You just have to run. Because if you fast travel to them, they just keep moving. So when you get out of the fast travel, they're all the way across the map. Yeah. I'm glad that we both were like, hell yeah, I love the Minutemen, and have spent at least 5 of these like 15 minutes just saying like, man, didn't this thing suck?
I can't wait to find like a comment like down in the comment section where it's just like, dang it, I wanted them to talk about the railroad.
Hold on, we'll talk about the railroad in a minute, but y'all aren't gonna be happy about
do we have to?
No. You'll understand. Okay, something that I like about the Minutemen. I've already talked about Preston Garvey. I really liked Preston Garvey.
Oh wait, before we go on, I just want to say this one thing. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
With the fact that you started Fallout 4 and did nothing but Minutemen stuff to the point that you were at level 40, your character literally became the meme of, wait a minute, who's Sean again? I have a son? No. Oh, frick!
So I had it. We're far enough away for it to not matter. I got Fallout 4 spoiled for me at one point in time before playing the game, and I was like, oh. Well, maybe it's a lie, honestly. I've heard a lot of shit about Fallout 4. It wasn't a lie. It was someone outright was like, your son is the bad guy in Fallout 4, which I was happy about it because in the end of the day, that's really subjective. He sometimes is, sometimes isn't. It really just depends on how you play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Everyone just has opinions. Which one do you side with?
Well, in the middle of I was around level 30 to put it into a time frame perspective. I was in the middle of that, and I was taking a break, and I was on iFunny, which is also, for those of you who know me, I don't use iFunny anymore, which also dates this story. I was on iFunny, and there was one of the fucking barbecuer memes, where he goes, come on down to the barbecuer, oh shit! It went, come on down to the barbecuer, and the billboard behind him didn't say barbecuer, it said, your son is the villain in Fallout 4, and he just went, oh shit, and I saw that and went, oh shit, and then like really quickly scrolled away, and then I paused and went, wait, I already knew that. I played Fallout 4 avoiding the story for so long, I forgot the ending and had it spoiled again.
Whoa, no.
That's how invested in the Minutemen Sam, you know me. If someone tells, there are two trigger phrases for me. Really, one of them's a phrase, one of them is a word that just immediately hook me. One is if you call something an adventure, I will immediately do it. It'll immediately be more appealing to me. It doesn't matter what it is.
Completely understandable.
Do what?
I said completely understandable.
There was a time at work, Dylan, who's been on the podcast before, there's a time where Dylan and I work at the same place, and we just started there about a month ago, and at one point about half a month ago now, 2 weeks ago, we were first time meeting one of our, like, higher up bosses. His name is John, and John and I had not really spoken at that point. We'd have basic introductions, and John had to take something to storage, and he said, all right, so which one of you wants to go on an adventure with me? And I shot up and said, me, I do. And John like got wide-eyed and was like, whoa, okay. And I saw Dylan behind him just grinning like a Cheshire cat. so yeah, adventure is one of my trigger phrases. But the other trigger phrase for me is someone saying that they need help in any capacity. It could be as simple as a like, hey, would you mind assisting me with this? Or it could be as like monumentally heavy as, please, I'm dying, I need your assistance. Like, I just like helping people. And so the Minutemen literally were like, hey, you wanna help people? It'll be an adventure. And I said, oh my god, yes.
Oh my gosh, that's 2 in 1!
Exactly, no, they literally fucking whammied me. They wombo comboed me with it.
That's a good mentality you have there.
I will say, and you touched on this earlier about them being the only nice guys.
Don't touch people.
What?
What'd you say?
What'd you say?
No, what'd you say?
What did you say? No.
Continue with your thing.
Sam.
No.
You derailed me. I hate you.
Oh, derail! Oh, railroad! Oh, they have to talk about it now!
We're not there yet.
Shit!
You touched on it earlier, though, about them being, like, the nicest people. That's what really gets me, is when it's time to go to the fucking, to the Institute, and everybody's like, hey, man, the Institute's bad news. They're fucking awful. Like, everybody has their reason that the Institute is just the worst of the fucking worst. Even the Institute, you get in there and some of them are just like, yeah, man, fuck us. But The Minutemen are literally just like
Fallout 4.
The Minutemen are literally just like the Institute, huh? Well, I've heard of them. I don't give a fuck. And so when it's time to go, if you get the Minutemen to help, they're basically like, oh yeah, that sounds neat. They can probably help us build beds. And everybody else, like the Brotherhood of Steel is like, we gotta fucking destroy them. They're awful. And the Railroad is like, we gotta fucking destroy them. They're awful. The fucking Minutemen are just like, hey man, different strokes for different folks. Let's talk it out. It just makes me so happy.
Well, I think you actually can destroy the institution with the Minutemen. Like, I think that is an ending.
It is. I did it. You have to talk them into it. It's not as simple like, hey, Preston, we both hate the Institute. Let's kill them all. It's, you have to go to him and be like, he basically is like, why should we? Like, that doesn't seem like it's necessarily productive. That being said, it's not exactly like that. I haven't played it in a long ass time. But yeah, that's basically what it is. It's like, holy shit, man. So they're just beautifully kind and helpful, and it's really fun. They
stay on the surface. They stay with like, this guy's clearly have a problem. Let's focus on him. They don't have a broad goal.
Their broad goal is just, we want to help everyone. Yeah, it's like, yeah, man, I'm down for that.
They're very straightforward. Everyone. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, that's a good way to phrase it.
Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Talking about how good Preston Garvey. Oh, that's one thing I want to touch on real quick.
Preston Garvey's fake.
What? Fuck you.
No. Don't you remember in Fallout 4, you can have a random encounter with someone imitating Preston Garvey.
What?
You don't know? Oh
no!
Hang on.
Yeah, put it in the Discord. But while you're looking for it, I'll say what I was gonna say. If so, in oh fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh no, Sam, you've derailed me once more, and it's almost actually time to talk about the Railroad this time. Fuck.
I don't know how to. Oh wait, I could probably find a. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh yeah. Okay. So Preston Garvey was always my de facto follower. The only time I left Preston was to work with Piper, and it's only— oh my god.
It's an impersonator.
Holy crap. He's just like frailer. He's like a more gaunt Preston. That's weird.
The random encounter is like, you're walking around, he'll walk up to you and like, hello, are you familiar with the Minutemen? The Minutemen would really appreciate if you give us a very sizable donation to help our cause. And then you have a wide variety of options whether or not to go along with it and actually give him money and fall for his little ruse. Or you can just be like, if you're far enough in the Minutemen, you just be like, you're not Preston, I'm the general. And he's just like, oh shit, and runs away. And it's even funnier because if you have Preston follow you, he literally looks at this and goes, what the fuck?
That's beautiful. Like, that makes me want to go play Fallout 4 again just to see that.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard Preston swear, but I think he swears in that moment. He's just like, are you kidding me?
Well, that's beautiful. But yeah, so Preston's always my de facto follower. I just really like Preston. But the only time I will give him up is when I work with Piper, because I always marry, quote unquote, as much as you can, Piper. She's just my go-to, she's my de facto. And it's really funny because whenever you trade followers after that, they always have this really overly cordial handoff, essentially. Where Piper's like, don't do anything I wouldn't do, or something really like cheeky like that. Preston's Preston, and so he goes like, oh, no ma'am, no. And it just always gets me every time. But in the last little bit before halftime, Sam, okay, I'd like to talk about, we have 5 minutes until halftime. Why didn't you choose, why do you not like the other factions in Fallout 4?
Okay, I can talk about that. So, the Railroad, they come in too late. That's my opinion. Like, I've already invested so much time in either the Railroad or the Brotherhood, and the fact that I have to go through this elaborate, puzzle just to get to them, only for them to be like, hey, you have to help us because we believe the synths are real people and we want to help them. Basically like a whole smuggler ring. It's just like, Well, I like the idea of your cause, but also you guys are like literally underground. Like anytime I would have to come to you, it's just like a whole fast travel thing. Like I can't just like walk to you out of the coincidence of my location because you guys are never in a convenient spot. And like you're like I'm already like invested so much time in the other two factions. Like I want to. Like, I'm already familiar with their story. I want to see where it keeps going, not start anew. And then with the institution, well, that's my only, like, confliction, is just, like, I'll participate, you guys, for the achievement only because I am a father of this child who is now older than me, and it's very weird, and I also like sticking it to the nerds. Get wrecked.
Get wrecked,
but again...
nerds.
But again, you guys come in way too late. Like it's very tricky. It's very hard to make me twist my ending when I'm like, okay, I've like made the decision. This is what I want. Let's go attack the institution. And then they're just like, hey, but what about us? I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna start a new ending 5 hours before the game ends. Like that's kind of very like, you know, very, very. I keep losing words, but it's so much build up, but little reward. I'm trying to find the word.
I think you said
anticlimactic.
Oh, yeah. I get you. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
For me, the reason I didn't, and I never do side with the other ones, like I've done other playthroughs where I say I'm gonna do this faction and this faction and this faction, and I never stick with it. The only other faction that I really want to try actually sticking with is the Institute, because with, like I said, the reason I chose the Minutemen is very obvious for me. They just check all the boxes for what I am as a person. But the Railroad, I like that they want to help people. I don't like that they're so hateful. I'll be honest, they're just very bluntly like, diplomacy's not an option, we just gotta fucking wipe them out. And it's like, hey man, I think you're a little off base. And the Brotherhood is, the Institute does that a little bit too, but I think less so. And again, I say I think less so genuinely, I think, because I haven't really explored the Institute as much as the other ones. But with the Brotherhood of Steel, the Brotherhood's literally like, hey man, fuck you. Not because you did anything, but because you're not Brotherhood. They're just, like, not racist, but factionist, you know? If you're not them, fuck you, essentially. And I don't vibe with that mentality, you know?
Yeah. And actually, you saying that reminded me of another thing. The first playthrough, I didn't want to side with the Institute because those bastards are the one who stole Sean. They're the ones who stole our son and brainwashed him into like guilt tripping us to join him. I'm like, no, you guys are clearly the bad guys because you're kidnapping other kids, other people. Like that's not okay under any circumstance.
You know, I'm gonna be honest, I was sitting here this whole time and I was like, wow, I remember hating the Institute a lot more when I last played Fallout 4, and now I don't remember why. It's because you're exactly right, it's because they fucking kidnap people!
Yeah, like, we forgot about that!
Yeah, no, fuck the Institute, man!
Yeah! This is what we were talking about, how good the Minutemen were. We forgot how bad the Institute is.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's just how good the Minutemen are. They make you forget everything else.
Shit.
Holy, that's, well, there we go.
Let's go play Fallout 4 and start with the Minutemen again.
Oh, God. That's the endings I always went with, though. I always went with the ending where everybody coexists. Nobody's dead.
That's an
ending?
And
I never intended to do that. I never looked up a guide and was like, can all factions live together in harmony? I literally was just so focused and like hyper focused on being a Minuteman. It just happened. I just beat the Institute, and the Railroad and the Brotherhood of Steel were just still there.
I didn't even know there was an ending where everyone can just live in peace.
Well, I say everyone. The Institute's gotta fucking die.
Oh, well, in that case, nuke 'em.
Okay, that's another reason that I didn't agree with the Railroad now that I'm thinking about it again. I don't disagree with the Railroad's philosophy reverse that. That's one of the things that I agree with the Railroad. Because I agree with their philosophy that synths are like, hey, these are people who have cognizance and shit. We can't just destroy them like they're nothing. And I was always like, well, yeah, but just, you know, the way that they have come into existence is wrong. Because it came about as a result of kidnapping and brainwashing and all kinds of shit stuff. So, fuck the Institute, man.
But hey, if you want to play Detroit Become Human without buying the game, just side with the Railroad.
Can't believe Detroit Become Human just ripped off Fallout 4.
They were writing the scripts at the exact same time, and none of them bailed when they heard the news.
Yeah, they were actually working in offices next to each other, and they just kind of leaned over and listened and were like, shit, man, that's our game.
Todd Howard, what the fuck?
What the All right, it's time for halftime. This is the first halftime where we have a dedicated halftime chat, which is very exciting for us.
Yay.
So you're going to pull up the halftime chat now. Oh, my God.
Oh, whoa. We got a lot of people coming in.
Wow. Okay.
All right,
thanks to everybody who jumped in the halftime chat. I did not expect this much interaction. This is very humbling.
It's still going.
Yeah, no, okay, well, we'll just take it a little bit slow. All right, so the first thing, gore artist. Oh, wait, these are the server nicknames. Hold on. Midnight, Luigi Lover, Gore Artist, LMAO, wouldn't it be epic if I were mentioned? Well, here you go, man. You're here. Hey. Luigi Lover does actually a lot of really cool art. You should all join the Discord just to see Luigi Lover's art. They do a lot of really, really cool art.
Is it about Luigi?
A lot of it is, yes. A lot of it is about Luigi. But in all seriousness, you should all... Luigi Lover, if you have like an art page or something, send me the link, and I will link it in the description below. Next up, we have Jimothy Ross. We should discuss the new urban fantasy flick, Fantastic... God damn it. Fantastic Doinks and where to smoke them. Doink is probably the funniest word I've heard in a while.
Fantastic Doinks. Really? That's a fantasy, urban fantasy flick.
Jimothy, you have broken Sam. Sam is completely broken.
If I had a beard, I'd be stroking it right now.
Strokes beard in contemplation. Doinks.
But I shaved this morning, so I don't have one.
Oh, rip. I'm never gonna shave again unless I'm working for Disney. And I'd want to. Next up, okay, wait. We'll come back to that.
Oh, he's thinking.
Jimothy Ross said again, God damn it. Sam, will you read the next thing from Jimothy Ross?
Jimothy Ross says, I joined the Doink Smokers initiative in Fallout 4. They were the chillest.
The initiative!
Okay.
I like that they're established enough to have an initiative.
Well, Jimothy, it sounds like you installed the perfect mod.
Yeah, Todd Howard's gonna come and comment down below and be like, actually, Doink Smokers is only on the version of the game if you pirated it.
You know, I think it's like Tom Howard's just going to the rest of the Bethesda team. It's just like, guys, we have to change the script for the next Elder Scrolls game. We got the biggest Doink story ever.
It becomes a faction in Elder Scrolls 6.
Elder Scrolls 6, Doink Smokers.
Chotty Mellow Melody in my head says, Matthew bought 200, oh cool, it's like a puzzle. Matthew bought 264 cases of orange juice and later on broke into someone's house and stole their dog. By using the Pythagorean theorem and by using the reduction and factorization of an expression, calculate how many apples did Matthew eat. Alright, so Matthew bought 264 cases of orange juice. The conversion rate of orange juice to straight up apple, well okay, so it's easier to do. Conversion of orange juice to apple juice is 1 to 4. So 264 times 4 is like 920, no, times 4 would be, oh, think, would be, like 900 and, or 1,000 and, I don't know, 42, something, I don't fucking know, some number, that sounded kinda right, Sam?
I don't know why you guys are fucking calculating apples. Someone broke in and stole their dog. Go fucking find the dog. Stop fucking figuring out apples.
All right, you find the dog. I'll do the apples. So, okay, so we got like 1,000 or so apple juice. Conversion rate of apple juice to apples is like 1 to 0.4, so you gotta go down a little bit. So let's average it a little bit. All right, we'll say that we got like I don't know, 800 apples. That sounds about right. So 800 apples, and Matthew's a fat motherfucker who don't like to eat no apples. So Matthew didn't eat no goddamn apples. The end. I did it.
I found the dog.
We did it. Everything's solved. Oh, Sam?
What?
What was that?
The dog.
You don't have a dog.
Well, I don't have a dog, but I found the dog that was stolen.
Where'd that noise come from? Sam!
He keeps barking at me. I don't think he's got my scent.
I hate this gag. Johnny, Johnny, I'm mad.
Don't hate my genius!
Johnny, you need to, Johnny, once you listen to this, I need you to tag Sam in the chat. And I need you to say this was a dumb joke. Alright, next we have Happy Pants. Oh, Happy Pants has an input on it. Oh, well, if an apple give in calories and Matthew burns K times W calories per mile, where W is the weight of whatever Matthew is carrying, and if the grocery store is X miles from Matthew's house and the house with the dog is Y miles from Matthew's house, and if Matthew weighs G pounds, then we know that Matthew went X plus Y miles carrying G weight, and X miles carrying G plus juice weight, and Y miles carrying G plus dog weight. Therefore, no! Therefore, Matthew is an asshole!
Get wrecked, Matthew!
God damn it. And then at the very end of all of it, we're actually bringing it back home in the perfect segue, yes. Thanks to Mr. Midnight Jack. Thank you very much, Jack, because it's actually the perfect segue. I joined the Thieves Guild because I liked the armor, and you know what?
Fair.
That's really fucking fair.
Absolutely.
That's part of why I kept going back to the Mages Guild. I really like the Archmage's armor. I do. That's part of the reason I went back. Plus, he's got a cool. Oh god, I'm gonna burp, Sam. He's got a cool house. He's got a cool little tower. So
fair. Yeah, there's no wrong answers in Skyrim.
That is our transition to talk about Skyrim. That's what we're gonna do with the second, roughly half of the video is talking about Skyrim.
Yeah, Fuso da.
So Sam, we haven't ever had this conversation, I think.
I think we have.
What faction did you side with in Skyrim, Sam?
Between, like, the Imperials and the Stormcloaks?
Yes, sir.
I chose the Imperials. I chose the Imperials over the Stormcloaks because I don't know, like, what about them, like, drawn me towards them, or, like, what about the Stormcloaks steered me away. Like, it was just kind of like, I don't know. I was just, I kind of just randomly chose, and that's where I found myself. And then later on, I was just like, well, the Stormcloaks are like, kind of dicks. Like, they kind of want to like take over Skyrim, and like that's not okay. You don't really do that by force. So I guess you're the bad guys. So I sided with the Imperials with actual reason later on after I made that decision.
Yep, that's fair. I have a very similar experience, but I'll be honest, right from the get-go, I kind of had this feeling, like I just had this inkling that the Stormcloaks were not very good people, because I think that their reason for fighting is extremely valid, because I think that they were like, oh, you're like destroying our way of life. Like, you are literally destroying the well-being of this nation, of this people. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty righteous. But then as you go through the game, it starts to get a little skewed. It's no longer like, oh, you're preventing us from having a livelihood, you're preventing us from prospering. And then it starts to turn into, you are oppressing us as a race. And it's like, hey man, banning Talos worship, I don't vibe with that. Outlawing your practices because they're different, I don't vibe with that. The Empire can go fuck itself in that regard.
Thomas the Tank Engine does not vibe with this.
No, he does not, nor do I. But the fact that their logic behind it is literally, quote, Skyrim belongs to the Nords? What the fuck, dude? Like, what the fuck? You literally invalidate, you make an outlier out of a whole, like, most of the other people who in Skyrim, because there's so many non-Nords in Skyrim. And so it's just like, you know, like I'm like Leggett Ricka. For anybody who's ever played it, Leggett Ricka at the end of the game has a moment where after you kill Ulfric Stormcloak, she says something about like welcoming him to Sovngarde, or like like I'll see you in Sovngarde, or something like that. Something that confirms that yes, she fights for the Empire. No, she does not agree with the Empire. Yes, she does still think Talos is a god. That's where I stand. Man, the Empire can absolutely go fuck itself. But the Stormcloaks can fuck themselves harder for being a bunch of racist assholes. Plus, like, if you think logistically about it, fucking, if the Stormcloaks win, that's gonna fuck over so much of Skyrim. Cause, like, do you really think that the Aldmeri Dominion is just gonna sit back and not invade Skyrim now that it doesn't have the Empire at its back?
Politics.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, and also, wait, biggest, or not biggest, but like another reason why not to side with the Stormcloaks is because if you side with the Stormcloaks, you'll have to invade Whiterun and kill the Jarl that you first meet when getting out of Helgen, and you go to when you go there the first time. And it's just like, well, he helped you, but you side with the Stormcloaks. Now you got to kill him. Like you're kind of making making yourself a dick.
The thing is, you don't even kill him. You just put him, his friends who are your friends, and his children in jail. You throw him and his, repeat, children in jail. It's so, he literally looks at you on his way out and is like, is this the choice you wanted to make? And he just leaves. And it's like, oh no, it's not the choice. Because I've done a Stormcloak playthrough, because I was like, okay, maybe this is the kind of deal where from the Empire side, the Stormcloaks look worse, and from the Stormcloak side, the Empire looks worse. You know, maybe it's just one of those. No. No, the Stormcloaks look pretty fucking awful from both sides.
I found him in the Discord. Why would you want to throw this humble guy in jail along with his fam? Like,
look at him. Look at those wise, inspiring words. Yes. Funny.
Yes, it's funny when you invade my homeland and throw me and my family in jail.
Remember when I gave you house and land? Remember when I helped you and told you who the Greybeards were?
Remember when I gave you that axe?
Remember when I gave you that axe?
Remember when I gave you that axe, giving you the privilege to like do any sort of crime, and then you just tell the guards to turn away because that's how much power you had?
I will say, let's be honest. Let's play devil's advocate here for a second. He gave you all that stuff. He was your pal. He's got Fabio hair. He's a handsome fella. His kids are weird and give you a cool Daedric artifact. But you know what else he gave you?
Door.
Lydia.
Oh yeah, the person who carries all my stuff.
Yeah, but like the worst person, except for Mjolnir the Lioness. Mjolnir the Lioness is the one I always kill for that Daedric quest where you have to sacrifice a follower. Mjolnir the Lioness fucking sucks. I hate her. I think it's Mjolnir the Lioness. There's a follower who like literally insults you and then you have to pay them to be your follower. I think it's Mjolnir the Lioness. I might be wrong, but fuck that person. Lydia's still the second worst follower though. Fuck Lydia.
I didn't even know there was a Daedric quest where you have to sacrifice a follower.
Oh, my man.
What is the artifact? What do you get?
Child. You, which one is that? Oh, you get the katana, I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. Let me look it up. But I'm pretty sure that's the one where you get the katana.
I never did anything like that because I just did like because there's an achievement where you have to collect a certain number of Daedric artifacts, and I just took like, you know, the easiest ones or the funnest one, because I remember there's a Daedric artifact where you just party with a Daedric.
Okay, that one's really fucking fun. That's where you get Sanguine Rose. That's a fun one. You do not get the Ebony Blade. You get the Ebony Mail from doing Boethiah's Calling, which is the one where you have to sacrifice, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's also really fucking good armor if you can do the quest earlier on. Let me think. In terms of the Daedra, okay. In terms of the Daedra, I always jokingly called myself a patron saint of Azora and Sheogorath, because those are the two where every single time, no matter what playthrough I'm doing, I will always do Azora's because she just likes helping people, and I will always do Sheogorath because he just likes fucking with people. And that is when I was first told I was a chaotic good, is when I told someone that. Fun fact.
And from that day forth, you would be 100% chaotic good, spreading joy across the land, while also setting off a bomb here or two.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I also like doing Clavicus Vial's quest because you get a really cool helmet. I don't even give a fuck what the helmet does. It just, like, hold on, look at this thing. This thing is the coolest helmet in the game, and I don't care what anybody says about it. That's a cool helmet.
Yeah, that's a really cool helmet.
I hate you. So yeah, to bring it back to the point though, the Stormcloaks are racist. They're a bunch of assholes, and fuck the Stormcloaks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad they're on the same page of this.
Let's go side with the Greybeards and just sit on top of a mountain.
You know, I always kind of wished that you could just side with the Greybeards, because they had a very hands-off approach to everything, but their leader, Parthenax, understood that they couldn't in terms of Alduin. So I wish that you literally could have just been like, hey, fuck your civil war, I'm gonna save the world, and you can both shut the fuck up.
That's kind of what you kind of can do for a little while, because if you advance in the story far enough and didn't solve the war, the Greybeards are like, all right, well, we're not going to help you while there's a war going on, so talk to the Imperials and the Stormcloaks so we can bring them all here on neutral ground, so we can, like, you know, call a temporary truce so we can, you know, stop Alduin from eating the world or something.
Okay, that quest makes me so mad because I always try to be fair and balanced in that quest, because I know that it is designed so that you can completely screw over one side. No matter what combination of choices I always make, they always get mad at me. One side always gets mad at me, and I don't know why.
Well, it's because, like, nobody wants, like, the upper advantage in anything, so whenever you try to be like, alright, well, you kind of want this because you want, like, an advantage over your opponent, and we're just trying to make things even, not give you the advantage, so how about this, like, non-important town? And they're just like, but that's not going to help us. And, like, we're not trying to help you, we're trying to find a common ground so you two can shut up while I save your world. And you know, let the Dragonborn be the governor or whatever, because clearly you guys are not competent enough.
You know, Sam, I need you to not elucidate any further on this, for spoiler reasons. But it's moments like that where I really wonder, how would Mungdal handle that situation?
You take the moon, and you take the moon, and you take the moon, and you take the moon!
Someday. Someday they'll know, someday they'll understand, Sam, and one person will have listened to this podcast and will come back and be like, oh my god, that podcast! Someday.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah. That's why I was like, no, don't say anything. Just let it happen.
You're planting the seed.
Yeah, I'm planting the seed of something, and someday, hopefully, maybe it will grow. It will grow and it will blossom. It will blossom and it will flourish. It will flourish and it will become something great. Something great.
Meanwhile, the audience.
Oh, yeah.
Not knowing what's going on.
Don't worry about it, friends. Don't worry about it. You'll figure it out someday. You won't be Steve Brule forever. You'll be regular John C. Reilly playing Wreck-It Ralph someday. And then it'll be a good time. This is stupid.
It will be big PP time.
So in the remaining 10 minutes, Skyrim does have other smaller factions. There's the Thieves Guild, there's the College of Winterhold, there's the Dark Brotherhood, and what's the other one? The Companions. So which of those, Sam, which of those four, which did you side with? Which did you usually like to go for?
Well, can't you do all of them?
You can, but, like, which one did you prefer? Like, which one, if you were in Skyrim where you could realistically only do one, which one would you go for? And why?
So what was it? The Dark Brotherhood, the Thieves Guild, the Companions, and what else?
The College of Winterhold. Yeah, it could be a tough one.
Well, I am in a similar boat with Mr. Midnight Jack in that I tempted to say Thieves Guild because I do really like the armor, especially in the Nightingale armor you get later on. But I think I'm gonna go with the College of Winterhold because 1, I'm in college, and 2, I like magic. I don't think magic is like the best stuff in Skyrim because nothing feels like more efficient and more effective than hitting someone with a sword or a bow and arrow. But I don't know why, but I like the College of Winterhold quest line a lot more because it's a lot more like there's a lot more mystery going on. There's a lot more like clearly there's a problem here. This is the problem clearly stated, and while you're doing your thing, we're gonna clearly direct you on what needs to come next and a simple reason of why while also doing cool magic stuff. Meanwhile, like, with the Dark Brotherhood, I tell you, like, I know there was a traitor, but, like, I kept forgetting about it because we just kept doing assassination contracts or whatever, so I kind of just forgot about that. And with the Thieves Guild, like, that was really cool. Like, I have, like, no complaints about it. Like, that's a good quest line that has a good everything, like, College Winterhold, I feel like, is a little bit better, so I'm going to put Thieves Guild in second place. And then the Companions, I straight up forget about sometimes.
I mean, I did forget them when we were talking about stuff here.
Yeah, like, literally, I think all they offer is Skyforge and werewolf powers, and I don't want to be a werewolf, and the Skyforge is, like, just another blacksmith, so have a nice day, sir.
Have a nice day, sir.
I don't even remember any of the characters from the Companions, because that's how little they matter to me.
I remember Ayla the Huntress, because she is sometimes the person that I marry. I remember the blacksmith with the white hair. What's his name? He works the Skyforge.
Oh, Santa.
Yeah, I remember Santa. There's the 2 twins, Farkas and Vilkas.
Yep, that's right.
I don't remember which is which though, which sucks because you have a one-on-one quest with one of them. There's the woman who cleans your Vasker. And
she cleaned my what?
There's Lightning McQueen, Sally.
Don't forget about Mater. He's the one who spit in a cup.
Of course, I can't. He did what in his cup?
That's what I quoted earlier, and I don't know if you caught that.
So I would usually do. I guess the College of Winterhold would have to be first for me, because I really I usually do Mage, but I think I lean toward the Thieves Guild, which is weird. I've never really thought about this question. I think I lean toward the Thieves Guild, not because I like being a thief, but just because I get such a sense of satisfaction after finally doing all their bullshit and having the cool stuff in the Ratway Warrens, you know?
Yeah.
So I think I begrudgingly put the Thieves Guild at first place.
That's fair.
Yeah, I reluctantly put them there. I will say, while we're on the topic of the Thieves Guild, I wish that... So, fun fact, Sam, I don't know if you knew this. There is an option to completely wipe out the Dark Brotherhood. That is a thing you can do in the game.
I think I remember doing that once, a long time ago.
It's because you can literally get kidnapped to start the quest line where she's like, all right, you have your choice. Kill one of these 3 victims who may or may not be innocent, and you can just kill her and let everyone go. Which starts the quest line, like Death to the Dark Brotherhood or something like that.
Oh, I did not do this.
And you can go talk to, God, Gaius, whatever, and be like, hey, I know where the fucking Dark Brotherhood people are. They kidnapped me. Here's a message. And he'll be like, oh, shit, help us out, man. And you can fucking wipe them out. You just go to their den and kill them all.
Well, okay. I mean... World's safer without assassins, I guess, but also Shadowmere.
I mean, I'll be honest, if I had my choice, if there weren't so many achievements tied to the Dark Brotherhood, I would wipe them out every time.
I mean,
I don't
spoiler
like the Dark
alert,
Brotherhood.
they get wiped out in the end anyway. So
Yeah,
I mean, like,
the only one I care about is Nazim.
Yeah.
I call him Mufasa.
Plus, also,
which might be racist.
In addition to getting Shadowmere, you do the Dark Brotherhood, and then they're just like, here, have 20,000 gold.
Yeah, but like, at a certain point in Skyrim, it don't fucking matter because I have nearly infinite money because of how much treasure you get, you know? Like, Dark Brotherhood stuff usually happens so late in the game, the 20,000 doesn't matter.
I mean, you freaking start building a house, then all that money starts to slowly go away. Children are expensive.
That is fair. I usually just go harvest all the stuff to build my own houses in Hearthstone, though.
Yeah, actually, wait. I don't know if you know this, but, like, did you know... Have you ever had children in Skyrim?
Yes, and I make sure that they get a fox. No, I take that back. I make sure that they always get the dog that gets abandoned in the woods outside of Solitude. Miko.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I always make Miko my follower, and then I will literally enter and exit my house until one of my kids is like, a puppy, can we keep him? And I'm like, yes, you can. And then Miko has a home again.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say is just like one of the times, like when the children or where your kid talks to you and like asks something of you, one of the times is just like, hey, Pa or Ma, can I have an allowance? And you get to decide like how much money to give your child, and like all the dialogue varies depending on how much you give them. Literally, the maximum you can give them is like, I think actually like 15,000 gold, something in the over 10,000s, and dialogue is just like, yeah, sure, here you go. And I did it as an experiment because I was just be like, I was very curious to see. I wonder what my child's reaction would be if I just give them more money than an entire village put together. And I did that, and they were just like, what am I gonna do with all this? I just asked for a little bit because I wanted to buy a sweet roll. I don't want a bank.
Yeah. I always give them the biggest amount I'm allowed to give them, and it makes it, I think it's funny.
I think it's funny, but I would never do it. Like, I will always just do it for the reaction and then reload a save and give them a promising amount. Like, I would never... I just think it's so funny because the dialogue is literally tied to what you give them. And it's just like, yeah, sure, I don't care. I have, like, more gold in my back pocket alone.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, though, that ties back into, like, how much money you have, dude. At the end of the game, I would literally be like, hell yeah, have, like, 5,000 gold. I got, like, $4 million and all the houses. It don't fucking matter. Welcome to Skyrim. Nothing, the points don't matter. It's whose line? Whose Skyrim is it anyway?
Whose Skyrim is it anyways?
Yeah,
but you got, if you want to go buy, like, all those, logs to build houses, that's what drains my money.
Oh, but that's not even that expensive, and you get so many at once. The way that I do Hearthfire is I'll literally pull up the wiki article on all the stuff that needs to be built. I will make a grandmaster list on how many of each item I need. I will get each item, and then it's the most fun thing to do in Hearthfire. I'll literally sit there and just spam the button, and it'll just rapid spawn everything, and it's so satisfying.
Never thought about doing that.
I would absolutely recommend it. Absolutely recommend it.
That's interesting.
To bring it back to the topic, though, the only good things about the Dark Brotherhood are Nazim, the Jester's outfit you can get, and looking at Astrid's ass. And she dies as a crispy husk. So no more ass. So that takes one of those off the table in the end of it. So the Dark Brotherhood is a solid number 4.
What about Shadowmere?
The Dark Brotherhood. I never ride horses.
Wow, you just ditched Shadowmere?
Yes.
Gonna be posting that in the comments right now.
He follows me when I fast travel, and it's literally just like, will you get out of here? So yeah, they're number 4. The companions are probably number 3. Well, yeah, they're definitely number 3, but they're not number 3 because I don't like them. I do. I enjoy them. Their quest line annoys me, but like I enjoy them. And I'm still caught on the Thieves Guild versus the Mages Guild. I like them both a lot.
Just flip a coin, or just leave it undecided.
You know what? I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put it. This is my final list. In first place, it is a tie between the Mages College and the Thieves Guild. In second place is the Companions, and in fourth place is still the Dark Brotherhood. Because I hate them so much, I'm not going to put them in third place.
And
they're just fourth.
That's fair. And I'm going to leave my list as number 1, College with Winterhold with the Mages. Number 2, Thieves Guild. Number 3, Dark Brotherhood. And then at the bottom, the Companions at number 4, because I straight up keep forgetting about them, and I'm not into werewolves, man. Like, I don't want to be a furry.
Oh, especially after Dawnguard.
Especially after Dawnguard. Dawnguard made them even more irrelevant.
Sam?
Yes.
For the first time in LUIGINATOR podcast history, we have finished the podcast. Literally, you finished your sentence as the timer went off.
Wait, we finished on time?
We did. So welcome to the first ever casual lightning round. So real quick, Sam, when you played Hearthfire, well, actually, let's not even do that. What was your favorite DLC from Skyrim? Actually, no, let's do both. Don't elucidate. You don't have to, like, super say why. What was your favorite DLC from Fallout, and what was your favorite DLC from Skyrim?
From Fallout 4, what were the DLCs? There was
the Settlement one, there was the Superhero one, or the Supervillain one. There was the Nuka World, and there's the other one that I don't remember.
There was, like, the go to that island or whatever.
Yes, the island.
Okay, so yeah, there was the robots, the island, and then Nuka World.
And the settlement building.
Settlement building?
It literally just gave you a bunch of fancy stuff. This is lightning round though. Go, Sam, go!
Wasn't that the vaults?
Go, whatever. Sam, go!
I'll go with the robot one, because I didn't like going to the island. Nuka World just made you feel like an asshole. And then do we do Skyrim as well?
Yes, do Skyrim too.
I'm torn between Dragonborn DLC and Hearthfire DLC, but for the sake of the lightning round, I'm gonna go with the Dragonborn DLC because cool Dragonborn-like powers.
That is fair, that is true, that is fair.
And ride a dragon.
For me, the first one, the favorite DLC for Fallout is the settlement one, where it literally just gives you a bunch of extra shit to do at your settlements. I fucking love that one. And my favorite I'm also on the fence between Dragonborn and Hearthfire, because Dragonborn has Mungdal's voice actor in it at a certain point, and I fucking love it. But I'm gonna go with Hearthfire, because I just fucking love building the houses. It's so much fucking fun. It's so simple. And also, obligatory, because I haven't done it, my favorite DLC for Skyrim is actually the mod, where you can change the player model to Banjo from Banjo-Kazooie. I don't fucking know. I wasn't prepared for it this time, Sam. You win. Sam, you won this podcast because I couldn't bring up Banjo-Kazooie organically throughout the entire thing.
Do I really win? Because you still, like, you know what? I'll do it for you. Look, there he is! Caleb brought it up again!
And this is the end of another LUIGINATOR podcast. Sam, do you have anything to say in parting?
You know, I just realized the only reason that we finished on time was because throughout the entire podcast, we were on agreement about everything.
Yeah, that is true. We'll pull up this topic again. We'll find people who intentionally do not agree. If you very strongly disagree with Sam or I, join the Discord and let us know, and we might have y'all on. Because what we could effectively do with this, Sam, is we could do it like with different callers and be like, all right, you have 5 minutes to pitch to us why we are wrong. So that could actually be a really fun next topic idea. So if that's something you're interested in, join the Discord server and let us know. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe and share so that we can all join the friends list to be stupid together. Don't forget to leave a comment down below so that I can respond and say something stupid in return. Join the Discord server for more fun in the future. And until next time, LUIGINATOR out. See you later, friends.